Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra S. and I'm always here for business. 5 years after its passage, the Minerals Development Fund law is near implementation. This is because government has finally inaugurated a 9-member board for the establishment of a fund. The fund will, among other things, ensure mining communities are catered for in terms of development. There's more in the following report.
The Mineral Development Fund law is a special document to ensure mining companies cater for the developmental needs of communities affected by the operations. Under the law, a fund was expected to be established. Unfortunately, 5 years after its passage, the fund is yet to be instituted. The launch of a 9-member board last week and chaired by the Chief Executive of a Minerals Commission, Dr. Adai Entwi Boisiako, paved way for the establishment of a fund. The board, among other duties, will spearhead a rapid development program in mining communities across the country. Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleimanu Kone, assured of effective implementation of a law to ensure mining communities benefit from the fund.
It's a major expectation that and it's one of the objectives of the law itself, to have the kind of development within the mining communities which we all aspire to. Our expectation is that on the back of the mining industry, we should see better development than we have seen. And the vehicle to do that, as far as the whole country is concerned, is the Mineral Development Fund Act, providing dedicated funding for socio-economic development within the community. That is, for us, the critical part of the law. And our expectation is that the board will be up and doing. We have a representative on the board.
He also spoke on plans by some firms to develop the road networks in mining communities, especially that of Tarkwa.
I know of Goldfields. I serve on their foundation, and I got information that they are contributing handsomely to ensure that this road is fixed. I know Iduaprim as well, and I think that Ghana Manganese would also chip in. But like I'm saying, you are looking for sustainable solutions to the road, nightmare, so to speak. The nature of the road is such a terrible state that we need to be thinking long term, how to ensure that the road will have a longer lifespan, and ensure that businesses within the enclave, even people who live within the enclave, can use these roads longer term. And it's always important that we identify alternative means of transportation, especially given the nature of the businesses within that community. And any day we would advocate and push for the Western Rail Line to be fixed.
Suleimanu Kone is, however, hopeful of drastic transformation in these mining communities in the coming years. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications says it will soon begin suing perpetrators of fiber cuts, and telecommunication companies experience an increase in cases of fibers being cut. This comes on the back of recent industry data, which indicated that incidents of fiber cuts had risen by 30%. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Ken Ashigbe, said dialogue has begun to sue individuals who are involved in such acts.
Statistics by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications from 3 telcos, MTN, Vodafone and Tigo, show a sharp rise in incessant fiber cuts. In January 2019 alone, the industry witnessed 264 fiber cuts, up from 203 cuts experienced the same period last year. Similarly, the cost of repairs had doubled to $714,515,000 a month compared to $391,484,000 the previous year. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashigbe, said the situation is deteriorating.
The interesting thing is looking just at the recent data for one of the telcos. It shot up to 132, which tells you that now averagely we've gone beyond the 300 levels in terms of the number of cuts, that we're experiencing per month. Very recently, one of our members experienced, there was some disruption in services for one of our members, and that would be MTN. And in that particular incident, what had happened was that you had about 5 cuts happening, to the extent that it cut off virtually the northern part, of the country from the service. And interestingly, these were the networks of the fiber of NITA, because there's a lot of also sharing of infrastructure amongst us, and some of our members use the services of NITA. Another example, let me just illustrate something that happened. One of the networks had decided this year that they were going to budget $500,000 as what they are going to use in fixing fiber cards. By the end of February, they were virtually now going back to their board to increase how much it is that they need to budget for just the repair of fiber cards.
The said impact of this development is contributing to unstable connectivity, poor voice signals and general degraded services. As part of measures to curb the situation, Ken Ashibe said the chamber will soon begin prosecuting persons involved in such activities.
In terms of the lawsuits, I am pretty sure that that's going to happen very soon, because once we have a conversation with people and then it still continues and it's costing all of us a lot of money, we're going to get to the point where even if we can't start with a criminal suit, because for criminal actions, it has to be done by the government. At least we'll bring civil action to bear. But we're also engaging, there's a court currently that sits on weekends, a Saturday court that deals with the issues of copper. We are having engagement with the registrar of that court so that they can extend their mandate also to issues of fiber, so that when these actions happen, we are able to quickly get them to also understand the implication and the gravity of the situation that we find ourselves, so that they would also be able to take this. So in terms of the legal suits, we are hoping that we'll be able to do that definitely in the second quarter. And really, when it comes to that, it will not matter whether you're a state institution, it will not matter whether you're a private institution.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu.
So how bad is actually the situation? Let's take a look at these statistics by the Telecom Chamber. All right, so I have more business news after 8 p.m. Thanks so much for your time, and do stay tuned to the news.